this is Paul Touch Error Instruments, and this is something new. And it looks really brave, but it's totally crazy. Singularity, tropical noise, yes. What is it? It's really something that not ever is made, I think. For people who don't know what is singularity, that means if two computers gonna talk with each other, and then it's gonna be dangerous, or there's gonna be some inside-out stuff. What is this about? The tropical noise we had before, and then you play with capacitors. So there are two capacitor banks over here that you can use for rollout. Now the dividers are open over here that you can use in your setup, and they are in and output, so it gets now some trigger input from this. And what's also really strange, what not is made in eurorack before, is that you can use this model passive or active. So there is an in-between. So there is a knob here for the power, and it can get more power or less power. And if you don't have power, it gets the the pulses from the CV from other things or the triggers. And you can also CV that, so you can control if it's passive or not, and how much passive if it is or not. How strange it sounds. Now it gets some triggers from up in the dividers, and there is a compartment here, a tropical capacitor and a normal capacitor, and it comes with 10 capacitors and 3 small patch cables like that to make these internal patches. But it's really like an analog computer. Then you have upstairs over here the audio output, the control voltage output, and the low pass gate output. So you can put a trigger in here to make drum sounds with it also, like the original one. Oh, sorry for for touching the camera. Yeah, I'm not such a pro. Okay, let's listen a little bit, and then I'm gonna take the capacitor out and play with the passive part and the active part. Here we go. This that analog rollout of the filling of the capacitors and the chips that you hear, this kind of rolser that Fiat Lombardi use, and yeah, more things like Noon from Landscape. It's a passive drum synth that is also really interesting. So yeah, you have this kind of sound. Okay, we go on. Okay, I'm gonna play a little bit with the speed of the triggers up there. also is interesting if you're using LEDs, then you can make a kind of sequence from the blinking that we know from the tropical noise. So now the LED is a kind of is pre-programmed to choose to get different colors, like an RGB LED that we know from a lot of Chinese toys. But because of there's a small chip in there, it gives to the one side to the other side when it must go on, when the electricity goes through. And what you get then is a really kind of rhythm. It's a rhythm cartridge. So every LED you have them in mood light. They go really slow from different colors, or really fast like this rhythm. Then you got a kind of pattern in there. And let's listen to that pattern. You can use them all also as LFOs to other things, or any kind of rhythmic dividers. There is also a small switch that you see here that is related to this port. This is just to hear it if you push it. So if you put it here, you hear nothing, and if you push, then you hear it. So it's more like a switch. If you want to have that higher, you put it higher. If you put it lower, you put it lower. So there's a lot of options in there, like ultrasound high. You can also mix this with the dividers to make you got a really high noise if you don't put any capacitors in there, but not always. It's so, and you can even put more capacitors in one. And just experiment around. Get now a little bit bassy. Find a lot of spots and crazy stuff. I'm just put 3 triggers in here, and then take the power level to passive, and then you get this kind of noon style of sound. If you have this, you can tweak the oscillators. Now it's between passive and active, so I give it a little bit power, then the oscillators will go, and the active of the passive sounds from the active pulses trigger to come in. That makes this rhythm. It's pretty dark, and I know I should not make a demo just quick and dirty like this, but I was so surprised what I can do with it. And now there are only capacitors in this part, so there's nothing in here, and it gives this weird voo voo. Crazy. Yeah, we have now only a few of them, and they're gonna be in production. They're gonna be not only delivered, we have put some tropical parts in there, but of course they get rare. We have also normal capacitors and LEDs with different rhythms that comes with it, and 3 cables for the patching here upstairs. And yeah, what's interesting is just playing around, finding spots, and or use it as control voltage. It can also really be interesting for strange thing. It's more like a computer somehow. It's 100% analog, and it's really tweaking with capacitors and loading chips and NAND gates and oscillators. Yeah, strange stuff. Thank you for watching. I know it's dark, but it's a dark time getting here in the Netherlands, and I hope you're good. This is Singularity, the tropical noise, and it will be available soon on the website. Thank you.